Hello, my name is Zach Neal with Potomac Custom Remodeling. I am here on this beautiful day to conduct a repairability assessment. This assessment will be being conducted on claim number 0886, X as in X-ray, 427, N as in Nancy. Again, that is 0886, X as in X-ray, 427, N as in Nancy. It is currently noon or 12 p.m. and it is a beautiful 77 degrees out here in Ocean View. I will be doing my work in this area right here. I will be removing this shingle right down here at the bottom. In order to do that, I will have to manipulate the two shingles above and the third shingle all the way above that, as there are two rows of 4 nails. This will be my control area. This area is to show the conditions of the roof in the event a repair does not need to take place. As we have already established, there are some wind and storm damages to this roofing system, so this shows what would happen if nothing needed to be repaired on the roof. For my tools, I have the roof snake on the left, which is the State Farm recommended tool, and I have my hammer. I then have 1 1/4 roofing nails, which is the code required item in the county and the town. I have my shingle that's going to be going back in the place, my chalk that I used to draw, and then, like I said, I will just be setting you guys up in a good area here to observe the work being done. Just trying to make sure that I have a good angle here. Perfect. If you just want to sit behind that, make sure it stays rolling. I'm now just putting on my second glove now, and at first I will begin by unsealing the shingles to be able to remove the nails. So that's what I will start doing now. Okay. There we go, first row done. Unsealed. These shingles are not sealed very tightly. The adhesive strip is clearly on its way out. There we go. And to the last 3 tabs to unseal. Okay. Very nice. Last one. Okay, just to show for the video that all tabs are unsealed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All tabs unsealed. I will now begin by removing the nails. It should be 8 nails in total, 2 rows of 4. I will begin by just seeing exactly where our nails are. Unfortunately, the nail has pulled right through the shingle, which again is a sign of the brittleness of these shingles, as these nails, the shingles are not able to hold the nail down. Okay, that one came out a little easier. We have quite a bit of tearing though, unfortunately. Not a good sign. Again, another pull through. The nail pulled right through the shingle yet again. There's just some tearing going on in the nailing holes. And again, another pretty bad tear occurring underneath in that nailing hole. Now we're on to the next row here. Apologize. Trying to be as gentle as possible. Trying not to lift the shingles too high. when removing these nails. Again, just trying to be as gentle and as careful as possible during this extraction process. That nail was pretty much out already. I think we have one more nail possibly. And again, more tearing occurring around the nail heads just from removing them, but I think that is the last nail. That is. Okay, there's our shingle. After the removal process, I'm just taking a look here. You still rolling? Oh, perfect, there we go. So, as you can see, we have signs of mat transfer. Right there, you can see the sealant strip being torn away. Same thing right there. Lots of matting transfer there. Just trying to look for any other spots. Ah, here we go. All along the sealant strip, we have mat transfer. And then I'm just looking here. You can see where that net nail was, caused a tear, tearing that fiberglass. Same thing here. Same thing over here. But nonetheless, I will set this down. You can go ahead and put it back down where it was. Give us a good angle. I will now go ahead and put our new shingle in its place. And then we can begin the nailing. Okay, I think we're in good shape there. I'll now grab my nails and my hammer and we will begin re-nailing. 2 rows of 4, 8 nails in total going back. Do have a couple concerns with the repairability of these shingles that I will present at the end of the video once I'm done nailing the shingle in. But it's a pretty excessive amount of creasing occurring to these shingles. Flush. Roof snake doesn't necessarily hold the nail in place perfectly every time. I do apologize. Yeah, this nail's not liking the roof snake at the minute. There we go. Down flush. There is an excessive amount of granular loss happening across all the shingles above the shingle that was removed and this new one being replaced. You can see the granules slowly sliding down on my arm. In fact, you can see here, absolutely covered in them, which again is not a good sign for repairability of this roofing system. As we're hammering, you can also see the creasing starting to develop as the granules are being taken away due to the reverberations of the hammer. It's causing all the creasing to start to show on the shingles above, which again is not a good sign for repairability. Okay. On to our second row of 4. Again, I'm trying to be as careful as possible. I unfortunately can't put these nails back in the same nail holes they were previously due to the tearing that occurred to them. So this is actually going to be leaving additional holes in these shingles, which is not going to be good for water shedding capabilities. Because every single nail hole that we have, which is 4 in total for the 4 nails that were removed, obviously the previous 4 we were nailing straight into the shingle that we were replacing. So this is a new shingle, no holes in it. This shingle above, however, that we removed nails out of, all the nail holes have torn to the point where, like I said, these nails can't be driven back in their place. Otherwise, they're not going to be holding the shingle in properly. It's not going to be properly fastened. So essentially, we're just leaving 4 holes in this shingle. So anytime the wind picks up and blows the shingle, even lifting it just like that, just a fingertip high, any wind-driven rain is going to be getting into those nail holes now, causing, like I said, a diminishing of the water shedding capabilities of these shingles, which again is not something we want to do for repairability concerns. So again, I can't go in the same nail hole because of the tearing. Two more to go. Again, I can't go in the same nail hole, unfortunately, due to the tearing that this shingle incurred. Oh, nail slid. Oh, well that probably doesn't help. The nail wasn't a nail. It had a screw bottom. Or not a screw bottom, a flat bottom. No wonder it didn't go in. Hold on a second. This shingle has actually experienced tearing between the 2 tabs. I'll be sure to show that in the video once we're completed here. Again, just furthering the signs of this shingle and this roof not being in a repairable condition. And one last nail. Again, we can't go. In fact, this shingle is also tearing in between the tabs. Unfortunately, we're starting to see that. But again, we can't go in the same nail hole due to the tearing. Okay. That is all of our nails in. Uh-oh. So, I will now grab the camera. This is the work area. So, as you can see, extreme granular loss. All the granules are just jumping on the shingle. You can see the crease line up at the top is very defined. To the point where I lift that up, you can actually see it creasing in that area. Same thing here. You see, we flip it one, all these granules are just loose. Any wind would just crease this immediately. It's already creased, it would just flip all the granules out. Same thing on this shingle here, all those granules just completely gone. Same thing, you can see the creasing across the top here, all creased. Same thing here, all these loose granules, just not a good sign. So, a couple concerns. As you can see, these nail holes, I tried to go as close as I could to them, but unfortunately, since they tore the shingles, I couldn't put the nail directly back in place where it was. You can also see some excessive signs of mat transfer. believe it was this one right here. This tab has actually torn slightly, and you can see that right there. It is cracked and torn. Same thing over here, mat transfer. So because of the excessive creasing, these tears and mat transfer, I don't believe this roof is in a repairable condition, especially when we take a look in comparison to the control area. None of these shingles are creased. None of the granules are loose. All the granules are still intact, still in place. I'm doing a gentle touch of these shingles, and all the granules, I mean, some move, but I think that's more so because they're stuck to my glove. Whereas this one, all the shingles are creased along the top edge. There's nail holes, there's tearing across the shingles, mat transfer, extreme granular loss. For that reason, I unfortunately have to fail this repairability assessment again, because this is just extreme creasing. I mean, there are creases that look worse than this or there are creases that don't look nearly as bad as this that were considered wind damage by the State Farm adjuster. So by that metric, these shingles most definitely are damaged to the point where we'd have to replace them as well, which again is just going to result in a cascading effect to the point where you're eventually just going to have to replace every shingle on the roof, because all of them will incur damage during the repair. And again, the control area, none of these damages occurred, which shows if we didn't have to do any work to this roof, we wouldn't have any of these unnecessary damages to this repair. So again, I unfortunately have to fail this repair assessment, and this repair assessment was for claim number 0886, X as in X-ray, 427, N as in Nancy. And again, I unfortunately have to fail this repair assessment. This is Zach Neal of Potomac Custom Remodeling. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.